Hello and welcome to the lecture series on monetary economics. In the previous classes, we have seen what does nationalization means, when did nationalization happen in the Indian context, as well as the pre-nationalization period, that is 1951 to 1968. In today's lecture, I'll be talking about the post-nationalization period or phase, which started 1969 onwards. So let's get started. The key feature of the post-nationalization phase or period is that priority sector lending started to happen, as well as we see more credit was allocated for food. So this is what is very important as far as the post nationalization phase is concerned. So the key feature of post nationalization period in the field of credit has been growing functional diversification with increasing emphasis on credit to priority sectors and the emergence of something called as food credit. So that is what I told you when I talked about the key feature of the same. Let us look at it from a very different perspective as to what was the case in priority sectors. How did the bank credit to large and medium industries went down and it went up in the case of small scales and small scale industries and all of that. So the first point is talking about priority sectors. Now this happened on the recommendation of National Credit Council, and the National Credit Council recommended that there should be at least 3 priority sectors. And which were these priority sectors? One was agriculture, the other was small industry, and the third was exports. These were officially recognized as priority sectors on the recommendation of National Credit Council. So this is how we see that the credit started moving into these 3 directions, that is agriculture, small scale industry and exports, in the post nationalization period I am talking about. So this is again one key feature of the post-nationalization period. Let us now move to the second point. The bank credit to large and medium industries went down, and on the contrary it went up in the case of small scale industries. We can see the share of industries in the year 1968, it was around 67.5% of the total bank credit which was disseminated in terms of commercial banking. It went down to 48.8% in 1986. So you can see that the bank credit towards the large and medium industries started moving down. On the contrary, in case of small scale industries, it went up. So this is again another important feature as far as post nationalization phase is concerned in terms of commercial banking credit. Let us now move to another important aspect, which is the major feature of the commercial banking credit, which is food credit. Now we see a rise in the share of food advances, meaning thereby we see with rising trend in the domestic output of food grains, a very efficient public distribution system, then we have market surpluses, large size of buffer stocks existing in the market, a rising share of bank credit has taken the form of food advances. So this means that the underlying output of food grains was increasing, the public distribution system came into existence, we had a market surplus in the economy, and as a result of that we see bank credit was moving towards something called as food advances. Now this is talking about, the table is talking about food advances, and in the year 1968 we see 109 crore was the outstanding advances which were given towards food advances, and they were equal to 3.5% of the total bank advances which were disseminated by commercial banks. Similarly, if you look at it from 1995 figures, it is around 12,300 crores. So 109 crores to 12,300 crores, which is again equal to 6.2% of the total advances given by the commercial bankings. Yeah, so you can see the changing nature of the share of food advances in the total commercial banking credit. This is again a post nationalization phase wherein you see changing pattern of credit dissemination. Furthermore, you also have this another aspect, which is bank credit was disbursed to something called as the public sector units. Now we see that commercial banks also extended advances to Food Corporation of India and similar state government units, as well as state electricity boards, port trust, etc. So we see that the banks or the commercial banks started extending credits to the public sector undertakings of public sector units as well. In terms of the Food Corporation of India, we can see the credit being given to the state electricity boards, the port trust, etc. So this is again an important feature in the post nationalization phase. Furthermore, we also see something called as export credit. As I told you, the committee on national or the recommendation of the National Credit Council was that there should be 3 priority sectors, and they were what? Agriculture, small industry and exports. So in terms of export, we see that the export credit has gone up. In the view to promote exports, why it went up? In the view to promote exports, to earn sufficient foreign exchange, the Reserve Bank of India also started providing them something called as liberal refinancing or low concessional rate of interest. So this is how the Reserve Bank of India also supported something called as the priority sector lending, which is one of the leg which is probably given by the National Credit Council, or probably recommended by the National Credit Council as a priority sector, was exports. And we see that even the Reserve Bank of India is promoting the same. So we see that in the post nationalization phase, the priority sectors were identified. The bank credit went towards small industries, to be very precise. We also see something called as food credit as well as exports credit. So this is how you can analyze the post nationalization phase, which is 1969 onwards. So I hope the idea of both pre-nationalization as well as post-nationalization phase is pretty much clear, and also we have seen what nationalization phase looked like and what were the 2 different sort of nationalizations that took place in the Indian context in the 1969 as well as in the 1980s. So I hope the idea of nationalization or bank nationalization in the Indian context is pretty much clear. Please stay tuned. Thank you.